Steve Richards and Jason Griffiths make up the Ouija brothers, a fearless ghost hunting duo from the English Midlands. What makes them different from most, aside from their bravery, is that they are more skeptical and often set out to debunk famous haunted locations rather than promote them. With that said, they may have met their match at Shepton Mallet Prison. Built in 1610, Shepton Mallet Prison is the oldest prison in the country and also was the longest running until its closure in 2013. 4 centuries of brutal treatment have since created hostile spirits who were, for the most part, already not good people to begin with. So much horror has happened here that a strange feeling of negative energy is said to have washed over the very walls themselves, and it isn't long before the Ouija brothers, despite their usual level-headedness, find themselves looking over their shoulder and questioning every sound. Sure, any building that's centuries old is bound to make some really creepy noises, and some of what they record just sounds like the foundation setting and stuff like that. But other encounters, like what happens here only 2 minutes into their investigation, seems to be in response to a very specific question.
Are you upstairs?
I agree with them that it's coming from somewhere above, but let me know if you do too. Whatever's following them, it seems to prefer to have a height advantage at all times. But check this part out at 8 minutes and 25 seconds. Jason actually looks up a split second before he hears the noise. So did they plan this and he messed up? Or did he sense it moments prior?
Is that you?
He was up above, weren't he?
Confident they found a particularly haunted prison wing to explore, the Ouija brothers walk past each cell, encouraging anything inside to come forth, and they gently coax the spirit into revealing itself. Steve is too busy looking straight ahead and misses the light anomaly appear against the wall right next to him. I fully admit that it could be their camera equipment, but it never happens again a single time. And get this, the light appears at the exact same moment. Jason wanted to know if the spirit remembers what life was like at Shepton Mallet Prison.
If you wish to come out, knock on the door that you want to come out of. Do you remember?
Neither of them see this though, and so unaware that it's already worked, Jason continues to talk to the spirit about how the prison guards were able to go home while they had to stay here, and out comes the loudest bang of all.
Whoa, what was that?
But that's not all they hear. They get out the electromagnetic meter to try and measure air currents for paranormal activity. Nothing happens at first, but then it beeps loudly and turns green for a long time. They can't get the meter to do it again, and are trying to figure out if this was a glitch when they are interrupted by something scary mid-sentence. I'll enhance the audio to make it easier to hear.
It sounded very violent, didn't it?
It's a small, muffled voice from far away, so tiny and distant that it shouldn't have even registered on camera, not with that heavy door closed behind them, and yet it reaches their ears with alarming clarity. They agree it's a woman, but still they are unable to pinpoint its exact location, and when they go outside, the prison is as empty as ever. According to legend, this could be the voice of one of the oldest prisoners, a woman known only as the Woman in White. She is said to have taken the life of her fiancé and passed away in 1680 from regret. Now she wanders the A and B wings moaning her sorrows, and as they are searching for her, the electromagnetic reader they left behind goes crazy once again, indicating that while they may have left the room, perhaps she has not, and the reason why they were able to hear her so clearly was because her ghostly presence had been standing not in another room, but behind them all along. A mysterious robed figure, an abandoned home. This clip has me on edge. Published by Kisa Weba in April of 2022, and originally published by YouTuber Hisham Al-Daimak. This video is trending in the Spanish-speaking YouTube community. The footage shows a group of paranormal investigators exploring an abandoned home. As they look toward one room, one of the crew starts shouting. The cameraman turns around and finds this behind him.
Bismillah! Atla! Fatma!
The robed figure walks slowly away from them, not responding to their repeated calls. It's unclear if this is a paranormal figure who appeared there, a jinn perhaps, or if it's one of their own crew fallen under a trance. Is this a possession or an apparition? Tell me what you think in the comments. A sound was heard outside, and this resident went to check it out. What he saw was terrifying. The resident is captured on camera out on his terrace, looking around with a flashlight. While scanning the area several times, something disconcerting shows up on one of the sweeps of the grounds. Watch the right-hand side of the screen. Did you see her? This resident sure did. Ever felt like you were being watched? These three boys definitely had reason to. Posted by the Comics Man to the Chills Narrator subreddit, the uploader writes, "Some dudes go to the Danakil Desert or a park. What is in the first frame? The video shows three kids getting ready to do some parkour, everyday kid stuff, but not far beyond in the background. Look at what is watching them from a nearby tree. The figure appears like a silhouette and gives off serious Slenderman vibes. The ominous way it's lurking there makes the otherwise innocent parkour video intensely creepy. You can vaguely see the figure again at a distance at 1 minute and 43 seconds. It continues to stand there in the clump of trees, and again around 3 minutes in. What is this thing? Do these boys have a lurker? Nowhere is safe. If you encounter a child spirit, be wary." Posted to Facebook by the most haunted places in Pakistan in August of 2019. This video is actually based in Thailand and surrounds the mythological spirit of Gongoi. The dark-haired sprite is said to be humanoid and child-sized. She hops around on one leg and screams out Gongoi, which is the source of her name. This video purportedly shows that creature at the edge of a Thai field in the darkness of night. You at first see the figure's dark hair as it's still and hunched over near the grass, but then it appears to become alert to the presence of others nearby as it stands up and starts hopping away on its single leg. If you're watching this video after 10 p.m., your nightmares will probably be populated by strange Dali-esque creatures like these. Hopefully they're not running towards you. This jinn has a sense of humor. Published by Hassan Barbar in May of 2022, the paranormal explorer is in this abandoned place when a jinn alerts him to his presence, yet he does not appear. As the unseen makes more noise, Hassan follows the sound, then the thing starts to laugh. Or is this a laugh?
طب إذا أنت هون ظلم طبعا طلع هون شو جايب هاليوم جابنا.
The noise continues, leading him around this empty maze. Soon it sounds like it's breaking something apart, and then that unnerving laughter again.
هو المكان كبير بصدر الصوت من هون أو من هون مش عارف.
Where is it coming from? The jinn speaks to him, but what does he want? We may never know.
مش عارف. اطلع. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق.
A reality show that can take a dark turn. Whale Wars follows the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society as they confront whaling fleets over environmental issues. The society is often faced off with a Japanese whaling fleet, year in and year out. By season 3, in the episode titled Sliced in Two, the two parties decide enough is enough, it's time to have it out. Up until this point, the battle has been confrontational, but not terrifying. The Sea Shepherd's arms of choice, paint, spud shooters, and noise disruptors. The whalers, strong and effective water cannons. This time, however, the whalers go all in, heading straight into the Shepherd's small ship. The Addie Gill is then, as the episode is so aptly titled, sliced in two. The ship lies and shatters on the open sea. The crew can't contact anyone via radio. It's one of the scariest moments in reality TV history. Even worse, the whalers start to lower an inflatable boat into the sea, likely to capture the crew and take them on board. The open sea is scary enough. Imagine being surrounded out there on the waters by your worst enemy. Luckily, the Shepherds are able to save their crew in time. Everyone survives, and no one is captured. A happy ending to another scary event caught live. A YouTuber named Cup of Mocha is in the middle of making a video when she realizes she is no longer by herself at home.
What the This door is not supposed to be open.
The video goes from light and playful to an emergency situation after she sees the busted basement door. I personally would have called the police at this point, but Cup of Mocha decides to stay. Watch this part and tell me if you think she should have ran upstairs or kept recording.
I'm just gonna film this just in case like the police find it or something. But that's what the heck is going on?
She goes from room to room half expecting to get jumped by some crazed intruder at any moment. She eventually tiptoes into a large laundry room with many hiding spots. It looks all clear until this happens next.
There's literally no one here. Oh my!
According to Cup of Mocha, someone bumps her from behind and she drops her camera as they run away. I wasn't sure if this was real or not, but over 1 year later, she still appears to be having problems with this obsessed fan.
Oh my god, Monique, we need to go. Come here. What?
She sounds really scared here, but I would like to know if you think she is truly in danger or just making a fictional series. Leaked aerial footage was taken in late 2006. A formation of Italian fighter jets returned to base after conducting some training exercises when one of them, the one shown here, notices a thick black cloud fast approaching and only has moments to react.
Come? Sta passando da pane in mezzo a noi.
He performs an emergency maneuver and barely avoids a commercial airliner full of civilian passengers at the last possible second. Thankfully, his training kicked in because the much larger jetliner could not have changed its course. Look again and you'll see they come close enough to almost clip wings. If they had collided, no one would have survived. This Russian dashcam video starts with a car full of friends gawking at a figure dressed in all black, who looks very out of place standing all alone in the quiet city streets so late at night. Something feels off about this stranger, so they decide to double back and take a second look out of curiosity. This time they get a much better view at the shadowy apparition and they all yell in surprise. The cloaked figure has stepped into the street and now faces them, almost as if expecting their return. The camera's quality is admittedly not very good, but I can't make out a single discerning feature of this person's face, which makes me wonder if they even have one to begin with. It's almost as if they were a shadow person. Then again, these friends kind of sound like they were possibly making a big deal out of nothing. With that said, something about the figure's silent, menacing posture and the way it stands in place makes me think this could be a spirit after all. We've all heard about miracles, but sometimes you just gotta see to believe. So let's see. A-Dimensional Paranormal published this video in August of 2016, writing in Spanish. Recorded by a person in the chapel of the Saltillo Cathedral in Mexico. The clip opens on the inside of a dark chapel with only a few candles lit and some low lights surrounding the statue above an altar. Low church chanting can be heard in the background. At first glance, a close-up of the statue appears to reveal nothing out of the ordinary, but upon closer inspection, the closed eyes of a statue glare open eerily. Watch it again. Did it give you chills? Is this a miracle or something else? You decide. Personally, I think it'd be hard to fake with the camera moving so much, which makes me think it's real. This video was taken somewhere in South America, and it shows a man sitting on a table at a security monitoring station. Little does he know that he too is apparently being monitored, and not by a camera. After a while, this is what happens to him. Even the people reviewing the footage can't believe what they are seeing. Not only does a nearby chair move on its own, but it also moves in his general direction. It's almost as if the ghost is pulling up a seat directly across from him. Unbelievably, the man doesn't seem to notice this paranormal activity unfolding before him. At least at first. He is looking at his cell phone when suddenly it happens again. This time he sees it, and his reaction seems very legitimate as he becomes startled and tense. He looks behind him to make sure that the security camera is recording all of this for later evidence. Then he hops off the table and stares at the chair before him. Obviously scared now. He waits for it to move again, but it doesn't, so he goes over to inspect it more closely. This is probably the most convincing part of the video, because he would have seen a fishing line if it was a fake prank. Instead, he picks the chair up, puts it back in its place, and then puts a stand in front of it and gets out of there fast. I'm not saying that this video is absolutely 100% real, but it is certainly a possibility. This short video will send you running for the hills. Posted to Instagram by para_noid_normal. This video shows a woman tearing down an alleyway in fear. A second later, you see why. What is that creature? Those in the comments have some theories. After creeping down the alleyway, she lays on the ground for some reason and doesn't get up again. Then she simply disappears. In my opinion, the creature looks like a skinwalker. What do you think? A YouTuber named Tobias Project checks his home security camera and is surprised to find his neighbor climbing his stairs to access the roof. Notice how he stops at the top of the stairs to make sure no one is home. It's pretty obvious that he knows he doesn't belong. He looks inside the window for an extended period of time and then calls no less than 3 friends, one of which is carrying a case of glass bottle beverages. I'm not sure exactly what they were doing here, but apparently they later told Tobias Project that they were working on a movie when he confronted them. I didn't see any camera equipment, so I doubt that is the real reason. Let me know if you think they were scoping out his place or just trying to party. Maddie Smith is traveling to the airport with her friends Tyler and Tori when her Uber driver Tony displays some very strange behavior along the way. He makes a remark that immediately puts them on edge, and I wanted to get your opinion on how you would feel if someone randomly said this to you.
God was telling him that someone in the car needed to be saved and we needed to figure out who it was.
Shortly thereafter, he begins reciting scripture that could easily be taken as thinly veiled threats, especially coming from a stranger they've just met.
He was a murderer. Many things that he would suffer.
I personally think that he should have been able to see the rather obvious discomfort on Maddie's face and probably should have stopped this discussion, but he continues to steer the conversation towards his beliefs. He's been talking for a long time now, and Maddie hears the GPS telling him to turn around because they've missed their exit. She claims that Tony later admits that he was missing the exits on purpose. My question is if he wanted to simply ramble at them some more, or if he is blatantly taking them somewhere else. Watch this and you tell me.
You can play church all your life. I never really understand what you're in.
Now that I think about it, this routine might have been a trick to get more money. They were too freaked out to do much about his ranting and ended up riding around with him for an hour, and eventually they requested that he drop them off even though they were not at their actual destination. How serious do you think Tony was being? And where do you think this conversation would have ended if Maddie and her friends had not stopped it sooner? Would you be able to sleep after seeing this? Posted to the Paranormal Evidence subreddit by cardiologist Wary 306, this short clip was captured at 2:30 in the morning. The mysterious footage shows a semi-transparent figure walking from one wall of the room into what appears to be a bookcase, where it disappears. The figure looks obscure at first but grows in visibility before completing its vanishing act. The Redditor says that around 3 a.m. they often hear a conversation between a woman and a man in the bathroom. They've seen shadow people in the home, things being thrown across the room, lights have shut off, whispers in the ear. All in all, a heavy atmosphere. The activity is too much to bear. And here's yet more of it. Many in the comments believe it's a spirit manifesting. Do you believe that's the case? Christopher passes by a mysterious figure that everyone in the car thinks is really weird.
WRC edition dann ist der Brunch, weil der Championship steht.
He's in the middle of the desert of an unnamed Arabic-speaking country and hasn't seen anyone in miles and miles. Christopher says he was worried this person might be stranded, but when he turns around to help, they were gone. Well, more like disappeared. That's really weird if they are telling the truth because there is nowhere to hide. They might be facing the camera and even reaching out to them at the 29-second mark. What do you think? I can't tell if this is a person or a ghost sighting. Are they asking for help? Okay, so this is the size of an ordinary garfish, and this is the size of one when you live in Texas.
Was that huge? Look at its head. Okay. Nope. You're good.
This gigantic specimen is estimated to be about 60 years old and weighs about 200 pounds. They eat just about everything in sight, and their only predator besides humans are alligators. Nothing else is big enough to stand against them. They are basically living dinosaurs, and definitely one of the most mysterious species to be found lurking in Texan waters, so tread carefully. Exploring with Josh is a YouTube channel dedicated to taking a closer look at all sorts of frightening locations. This time they decide to check out an abandoned school that is reportedly the source of black magic rituals. Pentagrams spray painted on the wall give them a general feeling of unease all around as they make their way deeper into the building. They feel watched at times and are worried about coming across someone at any given moment. I notice some sort of strange ephemeral smoke follows them throughout the video. It's visible in two different scenes. The first time happens about 5 minutes in.
We see some? Damn, this is spooky. Hopefully we don't run into anything crazy.
Then it happens again here roughly a minute and a half later.
Yo, this one's a little bit scary. If we hear anything, let's just...
The strange smoke is definitely not their breath because it only happens twice instead of throughout the entire video. Coincidentally, the smoke appears as soon as they sense that something is nearby. As if that weren't enough, they have another random paranormal encounter that is much more blatant.
Oh my god, did you get that on tape? That is insane.
I don't see any block light around the door frame to indicate one of their friends was on the other side. In fact, it doesn't look like the door even has a knob to use. There just doesn't seem to be any plausible reason for this door to open on its own. This paranormal investigator's creepiest capture in a cemetery is bone-chilling. The YouTuber was exploring the hauntings at St. Joseph Cemetery near Kimswick, Missouri, when she captured several EVPs.
Michael?
Later, while she was attempting to communicate with the passed on using a spirit box, Michael made his physical cameo. Watch to the right, just above the vehicle.
Which grave is yours?
Nobody appears to be in the vicinity. So to whom does this shadow belong? I vote for Michael. Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.